everyone. Welcome to the third and final, I think, live demo of QuickWrite, and celebrating these new features that they have just released in the last couple weeks, which are honestly just blowing me away. Now, I am going to be answering your questions. And so if you have any questions, then make sure that you put 4 question marks before your question and after your question, so that when I am going back and forth from the demo to the comments and all of that, I can spot questions really quickly. Now, this webinar or training or whatever, I'm kind of flipping the script a little bit on how a lot of webinars are done, because a lot of times people just come on and do webinars, and they do a free training or whatever, and then at the end they kind of surprise you with hey, this is going to cost money if you actually want to do it. And I just want to tell you that while I do lots of YouTube videos and lots of resources are free, this is a demo of a tool that is a paid tool. So QuickWrite there is no free version of QuickWrite. I just want to be very transparent from the beginning that QuickWrite is a paid tool that was built by my friend CJ and his company. And he's the same guy that we became friends because I bought some things from him, that his training and his resources are amazing. And I ended up working with him to create Bible Toolbox, which is kind of an AI tool built on the same foundation as what I'm going to show you, QuickWrite, but is built specifically and designed for Bible study. So one of the things that with the launch of these new resources, the way that he operates QuickWrite is, instead of being a subscription like so many, you can do a subscription, but he offers a lifetime license that is normally $497, but right now, through like the Saturday before Easter, he's offering 60% off to people who purchase it through their affiliates. So using my link, keithrayner.com/QW60, will get you a lifetime license for $197, as opposed to if you just go to QuickWrite.ai, you'll see QuickWrite, and it's the same exact thing, but you'll see the $497 price or the $49.99 a month price. But this price would be $197 for lifetime. There is no subscription onto it. And because he and I worked together to build Bible Toolbox, he told me last week that anyone who purchases QuickWrite during this promo through the 19th, I guess, of this month, then he will, at the end of the promo, he'll go in, and anyone who's purchased it through my link, he will give them also a free lifetime license to Bible Toolbox. So you would get both of them for the price of what Bible Toolbox right now is $197 for a lifetime license. So you can go check out I'm not going to demo Bible Toolbox here. That's not what this is. But if you want to check out what Bible Toolbox can do, you can go to BibleToolbox.ai and see it. Just don't buy it from there, because if you buy it from there, you just get Bible Toolbox. But if you buy QuickWrite, you get Bible Toolbox for free. So I just want to tell that, because some people have purchased it and then opened it up, and they just are doing it right along while I'm doing the demo. So you can feel free to do that. But that's what that is. You have to use keithfarron.com/QW60 to get the 60% off, and you'll be redirected to a page that has the discount built in. There's no coupon code after that. So, and on top of that, he offers a 30-day money back, no questions asked guarantee. So if you try it for 30 days and just set a reminder for the beginning of May, and if it doesn't fit you, then you get your money back. So there you go. All right, so I am just going to share my screen and kind of walk you through what QuickWrite is. I'm going to assume that you don't know much about it. And so I'm going to walk through kind of the structure of how it works and what is included. And then I'm going to show you some different things. And one thing that is kind of fun before I open it up is if you have some topics that you are thinking about writing a book or a blog post or an article, or you're doing research for, then go ahead and put those in the comments. And because I would love to when I do some samples, I would love to put in some things that you're actually interested in to see what it comes out with. So I also know that during the first live demo went well. The second one, people couldn't hear me for the first 3 minutes. So if somebody could type in the comments, just let me know, yeah, you're here, you can hear me, where you're from, some of that, and some of what you would want to write a book on if you were ever gonna write a book. So I'd love to know that everything is being able to see and hear well after the experience last Friday. So, all right. So when you log into QuickWrite, you land on one of the very unique features of QuickWrite. You land inside this document manager. One of the things I love about QuickWrite, and so we did the exact same thing with Bible Toolbox, is when you are writing a book or you are studying the Bible or whatever, you are doing research on something, writing blog, it's very rare that you sit down and do all of your research and all of your writing. And it's just like I sit down, and when I'm done and I go out of my office, I'm done with everything. I am constantly coming back and doing more research. So I love it that when you do that, instead of, when I use ChatGPT and I use Gemini and I still use these other things, but when I do, that it's just, there's this list of kind of like your website history, there's this chat history, but I love being able to create a document inside of QuickWrite and have all these different documents and go in and keep working on something. If I've got multiple things going on, or when I'm done with something, I can just delete it and say, oh, I want to delete this test book that I created last week for the for this demo. And then next time I log into this document manager, it will just simply be gone. So so there you go, it's gone. So the main kind of two of the big additions that were added in is this one called Quick Research and the one Train on Your Book. That the idea, and I'll show you more of those, but Quick Research is basically opening it up like ChatGPT or like Gemini, or Copilot or any of those, where you put a prompt in there and then you can ask follow-up questions. And so when you go in, it just looks like an open prompt, and you could do research on anything. Let's say that you want to do research on, I want to write a book. Like I when my kids were growing up, I was their soccer coach. So what if I was writing a book on, can you give me ideas for a book that teaches parents how to coach youth soccer? Assume they have no experience playing soccer, playing or coaching soccer. And then you hit this. Now, a lot of times when you're using other AIs, you kind of see it's kind of building it as it goes. Well, this is sending it out to the AI language model, which in here you've got built in ChatGPT 4.5, which at the time of this recording is the most recent, most latest up-to-date one. It's got Gemini Pro 1.5. So it's got the latest AIs, and the AIs that this is tapping into, because CJ and his team are paying kind of the company on the back end for millions of bits of data, their price is so low that there is no $20 additional charge for ChatGPT, for Gemini Pro. You get access to those models in here. So you can actually see in here, it's given me 10 ideas, from sidelines to success, a parent's guide to coaching youth soccer. It's got the overview and features. Kick It, easy coaching tips for soccer savvy parents, the parent playbook, all this. And then you could say, you could go on there and say, let's work on, I really like the parent playbook one. So I could actually highlight that and I could go back on and I could just add on and say, tell me more about the parent playbook, building skills and confidence to young players. Give me some ideas for what chapters could be. And the way this works is like I said, very similar to ChatGPT, Gemini, where you can just keep adding and it's referencing that whole conversation. But this is done for quick research. This is not, this is when you do have those one-off sessions. He wanted to build that in. This is actually something I asked him to do. I said, sometimes I'm doing quick research and sometimes I'm doing something I'm going to keep returning to. And I want to be able to do both. I want to have that document manager and I want to be doing something without having to create a new project to do it. So that's how the quick research tool works. And then the train on your book, people, especially for nonfiction, they want to be able to upload their own book or their own blog articles or whatever and have it be able to, pull quotes from it or summarize chapters or anything. And the beauty of this train on your book feature is that it only, it uploads it to your account. It is not like adding it to Gemini or ChatGPT where it's now on their servers. It's in your account on CJ's company server. So it's accessing that with the same kind of power of these AI language models, but it's not sharing that. When you upload you can upload your entire manuscript, as I have done, and be able to find things in there, being able to summarize things, being able to write some, hey, based on this book, write me 10 social media posts, and it will, using the information in there and the tips that you say and your chapters and all that, it will write all of that. And so, all right. So when you go in, the way that this works, when you create a new project, you can name it whatever you want. So this is one, I opened up one that was in my deal. Normally this is blank. You can name it whatever you want, like I did with that test book. And then the way that this is built is that just to give you a high level overview of what AI is, it's very different than when you go to Google search for the last 10, 15 years and you type in something simple, hey, give me, ideas for youth soccer. Then it's going to find web pages and link to those web pages where you then go and read it. Whereas AI, it takes the billions and billions of bits of data that are out there on the internet. And I would love to tell you I understand how all of AI works, but it's essentially something where what you create in your prompt, instead of just your little search phrase, what you create in your prompt are basically all these filters that are saying, don't show me this, don't show me those, show me only things that fit these parameters. Kind of like if you were planning a vacation and you said, I want to go to Europe. Well, all of a sudden it knows not to show you anything that's outside of Europe. And I want to go to only cities that have beachfront. And so it's going to go, okay, well, we're going to then send you to Spain or Portugal or France or Italy or something. And you could give it as many prompts as you want. And it's basically tightening in all the guardrails so that you're as accurate as you can. And so what this does is without you having to know how to write those complicated prompts, it just basically asks you, okay, I want to write nonfiction. And what do you want to do? Oh, I want to create, so with this one I went through all of these different ones so that we're not waiting for it to do it. But I just said, okay, create a book title. And I just put in Teaching a Beginner How to Grow a Vegetable Garden. And it came out with 10 different titles that I could then move over to here. And then I could say, oh, well, this is the one that I like. And so I just said, okay, now I want to create a book description. and what's the title of your book? And I was able to copy the one that was most interesting to me and, describe the book in a short phrase. And so then it's going to write me a nonfiction book with this title that covers this, and it's narrowing this down to write this description. And then you could go and write a book description, create a chapter outline, create content sections, all of that simply by using drop down menus. And then you are just putting in the last piece of guidance, and QuickWrite creates that super complicated prompt on the back end. So that's an example of some nonfiction. It also, it's great for fiction writers. For fiction writers, it does things like, okay, plot suggestions and character descriptions and book titles and book descriptions, all that. I want to write a backstory description. And so I came up with this idea. What about a Princess Penelope who enters a magical land with talking trees and animals? And so I had kind of Chronicles of Narnia in my head, with the main character being somebody named Princess Penelope. And it came up with this whole idea. And then I could come up with a character description of this. And I could go all the way down to brainstorming titles and book descriptions and backstories and creating character names. And it just brainstorms. And then it will, even within here, you're not going to a different AI to create images. You can do it right in here by then going to create an AI image. And so I put in that description of that and did kind of a photorealistic one, an illustration, an animation style one, a pencil sketch, 3D render, detailed painting, and was able to create some visuals that you could then take. Now remember, AI is creating it. And so it's not just finding it somewhere. These are not 6 different copyrighted pictures that it found on the internet. It created them, which means that I can then download them and use them because they have no copyright on them. So I could actually put the title of my book or my book cover image or something on one of these, and this created the images that I can then use for the social media. So weird. This is actually YouTube is putting commercials over the top of my live. That's not good. I wish I could not have that. So, the document on the side to save the text. So you can just do your research and then it gives it out in the middle. So let's actually, I'm just going to go to I'm just going to create one from scratch. So you create a new project and it opens it. We'll see how it does with live streaming and all that kind of stuff, and all these windows open as we're live streaming through this software and everything. Sometimes it just ends up, the streaming goes fast. So while I'm showing you how this works, I'll also show you one of the new features that blows me away, that he includes in here, that makes it, to me, worth the price of admission by itself. This AI engine selector. So look, he's got 6 different AIs, most of which are the paid versions that you no longer have to pay for because he's paying for it on the back end. And so ChatGPT 4.5, that would cost you $20 a month. Gemini Pro, that would cost you $20 a month. Some of these are free, but then some of them, to get the highest level of the language model, you've got DeepSeek. Meta is the one by Facebook. You've got Grok and this one, Literary Writer Pro. I'd never even heard of that before, but it was something that I texted him and I'm like, "What's Literary Writer Pro?" He's like, "It's one nobody's ever heard of that is growing, and I'm finding it's giving great results." So you can actually go like to ChatGPT and type whatever you want. So let's say that same conversation that I was having, outline a book teaching parents how to coach youth soccer. So I'm just going to start over, and I could give it to ChatGPT, and I like to, when it's thinking, I like to kind of put over here which one I just put it in and make it a little bit bigger so that it's easy for me to find, and I might get better results with one when I'm doing a certain kind of research or something like that, and and then go over. So we'll see how this does. Thinking here on the fly, the blessing and the curse of doing things live is you get to see how it actually works. But I can tell you when I'm just using it, it's usually a bit faster than this. So, and so here's what I am going to do. So that was the fiction one. I'll go ahead and close that. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, where am I at? Where did that just go? Oh, there it is. So I can go, and that moves it over. A book outline, Coaching Champions, A Parent's Guide to Youth Soccer. Gives me the introduction, chapter 1 through. It gives me this outline that I can then go through, and some of them you're not gonna. I always have people ask me, can this write your whole book? And my opinion on that is, the short answer is yes, it can write your whole book. What I wouldn't say is that it could write a really good book. Because the idea of whether it's speaking or whether it's doing research for a speech you're doing or training you're doing, that speaking and writing is serving. And if you're going to really serve your audience well, you have to decide what it is that they need. I find that AI is an unbelievably helpful research and brainstorming tool. But if you're just having it crank it out, it doesn't know your audience. It doesn't know your voice and your nuance and all of that. So the world has become flooded with really, really bad books because people are using it for that. No more writer block. That's absolutely true, to be able to put it in there, especially if you've got writer's block. I actually recommend using the quick research and put in the idea that you want and what it kicks back. Ask it another question based on what it kicks back. And I find that the number of ideas that I can generate in 15 minutes blows me away, and it always gets me unstuck. So for me personally, if I'm struggling to what do I want to do with this? And I use this to help me research ideas for videos. I may have an idea of where I want one of my YouTube videos to go, and I use AI to help me brainstorm some things that I would have missed. I might say, I'm writing a video or I'm creating a YouTube video about this or an article about this, and I've got these points. What points could I add to make it even better? Or what am I missing that would really be helpful for people? And I find that some of that back and forth can be really, really helpful. So then I can just put that over there, and then I can just change this to a different model. I can just go, okay, well, let's just see what DeepSeek has to say about this. And I could go in, and because it in general knows what is going to be good and what the topic is, and it's doing that research, there will be some overlap, but it'll come up with some different wording. It might come up with a chapter or two that ChatGPT didn't come up with, or whatever. So I like to do that. You can even do that for, your book is done. You can use this to come in and say, write 10 Twitter posts helping me promote this book about parents teaching parents how to coach youth soccer. The title of the book is this, and use the different one. And you can go through those 6. You can go through those 6 different ones. And so what did I do? I did DeepSeek. So if I go through here and I change it to that, then I go in here, and now DeepSeek has come up with these different ones. Title, Coaching Youth Soccer, A Parent's Guide to Building Skills, Confidence, and Team Spirit. And so it comes out and it's giving me an 11 thing. It's giving me an appendix, some different ideas for what I could put in an appendix, a conclusion, and kind of what the tone would be, some visuals I might want to include. I mean, just think about how much time that saves you. Then you can add your own content to it. And then if you want to keep it, I can just, type youth soccer book and save it. And so now when after that gets saved, I go back to my document manager and this youth soccer book is done. So I can then come back a different time and do some research that dives into one of the chapters or something like that. And so I just find that that whole idea of being able to come back into the document manager is super, super helpful. So I've shown you the quick search. I want to show you a couple different things. This is, this is another new feature that just got added in the last 2 weeks. And that is the statistic, fact, and source creator, which is another one of these drop downs. Statistic, fact, and source creators, specifically helpful for doing research for nonfiction books. Because a lot of times with nonfiction books, you actually need to be able to cite your resources and go deeper, find websites that will go deeper into the statistics. So, for example, I just put in here, can you give me some statistics on Christian colleges west of the Mississippi? So if I was doing an article that was a guide to researching Christian colleges, and I hit generate content, it gives me these 5 different pieces of information. But then when I move it over here, notice this: the number of Christian colleges, enrollment statistics, graduation rates, tuition and fees, student to faculty ratio. And so when I go and I click on that, you see the link is actually there. So I can then go and find the resource. This is I think it's the Christian colleges something. I don't know what that website is. Christian colleges and universities. And so I can actually do the research and be able to find out where it came from. So this enrollment statistics, I can come here, and because AI models are going off, they're always about 2 years behind from the research. And so when they first came out 2 years ago, they were searching up to 2021. They're now searching up to 2023. Well, this website has to have click here for the latest version on this site. And so I could click that and update that. So you can do, the amount of research is amazing in there. So that youth soccer book that I saved, I can go back, and now in the document manager, that is going to be there. So I'm going to delete some of that. The AI image, this is what I was telling you, like the Princess Penelope stuff. I could just describe, there are 2 different ways that you can do it. Or the AI image, you just describe it and you can say, I want a landscape image. This was a square image I chose. You can do a portrait image if you're wanting to have something that you're creating for like social media stories, things like that. And you can just describe it. And so I just typed in a realistic photograph of a dog sleeping on a couch, and it came up with this. And I'm not going to demo these because the image creation takes 2 minutes. The video creation takes 6 minutes. So this was really, really weird. I got to tell you, this was a little bit bizarre because I went and I created some images. I'm going to show you first. I wrote one that I said, create an image of Jesus laughing surrounded by children. And it came up with these 4. And which I just think is amazing, because again, it didn't find these. It created these 4 images in 2 minutes. Then I uploaded one of those images to the video creator, and 6 minutes later, it had that, and then it had this, and then this was another one created based on a different image. And so, but when I created the other one, when I went in when I went in to here and I said, create a video based on an image, and I uploaded one of the images of myself. So this was a static. This is going to freak you out. When you, when I uploaded this photograph of me, and I typed in guy in purple shirt walking up the stairs. And this is what it created. Watch this. That freaks me out because that video was created by AI from a photograph. So there is no video. You're not going to find a video other than this little 5-second clip right here that is of me walking up those stairs, because it was just a photo shoot that we were creating some marketing images. So absolutely bonkers what that can do. And that was just me typing that in and waiting 6 minutes. So completely crazy, completely crazy. But it's got so many other things. I mean, you can create marketing plans, and I mean, business promotion stuff. You can create business plans, product service descriptions, email, write a video sales letter, social media posts, Twitter posts, all this. I mean, all of these by creating a drop down, and then it asks you more. Some of them have sub drop downs, and then it'll ask you for the little description, and it creates the complicated prompt that it sends out to get it. So yeah, well, that is sobering for sure. It is a little bit crazy. Yeah. And one thing that I didn't that I forgot about is that I thought that it actually created like 4 of them or something like that. So I don't know. I'm not seeing that, but for some reason I thought there was like a there were 4 that it created at a time. So like it did with the one I did with Jesus. So I don't know. Usually there's one that says next image or something like that. So I'm not seeing that in there. Anyway, so going back, I just want to see if I'm just in. So the power editor is basically just an open prompt. You can choose. It's another way to get to the choosing a different thing. The power editor is just an open prompt again. But if you want to have that open prompt and be able to move it over, you can do that. And then author echo is that one that I was saying you can have your own book. And so I can say, okay, based on my book, How to Enjoy Reading Your Bible, which I uploaded, I could just write, write 5 social media posts promoting this book, and click generate content, and it will start looking at this. All right. And so with the emojis, with all of that, it creates this based on, and it was all based on this book, which again is in a silo in my own private account. So I'm not worried about my book getting out there, and anybody is now tapping into writing this. And then I can just move the content over and just go. So now, granted, I did this all within my youth soccer book. So I would have started a new project saying like marketing posts for How to Enjoy Reading Your Bible. And as your document library grows, if you're writing your book and doing all the research and all of that, you can not only base it on your own book, but you can base it on a previous project, because all the projects that you've done that are in your document manager are now in your own account. And therefore you can choose one of the projects that you've done and base your search and research on that as well. So, all right. Yeah. You say, I bought it from your email link and watched one of your first lives on. I'm having so much fun. I'm so glad. All right. Well, I am trying to think if there's anything else specific that we should probably do now. So I showed you fiction, nonfiction, the statistics, the marketing stuff, blog writing. You can have it help you research and write blog writing, kind of outlining that article, but making it obviously shorter for like a 2,000 to 4,000 word article rather than a whole book. You can translate content. So if I took, I'm just going to see what happens. So if I take one of these social media posts and I go in, I haven't used the translate content thing a bunch. So let me do this. Let me just actually refresh this and go specifically to the translate content. And I want to translate it into Spanish. And so here's the post. I'm going to take the 3 out. There's no point in doing that. And the emojis, I can put that in later. And let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, there it is. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, listo para revelar tu amor por la palabra de Dios. So it's yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean it's crazy. And so right now, so far, Spanish, German, French, and Russian are all built in, or not built in, but they've added those. So I'm sure they're going to be adding more. But one of the beautiful things about QuickWrite is that because it's a lifetime license, you have access to everything that's in there now. There are not multiple versions. I have no idea if he's going to add something later that kind of requires so many resources that there's going to be a charge. There hasn't been in the 2 years that it's been available. Anybody that's bought the license, the lifetime license, has gotten every single feature instantly and has gotten access to every single upgrade, including all of the ones that he's added here. And so, you know, who knows what's going to happen with AI in the future, but the fact that your copywriting, your research, your statistics, your video creation, your image creation, your brainstorming, all of that can be in one place that you can then save. Absolutely blows me away. So if there's anything that anybody watching this wants me to plug in, I'm happy to test drive something for you if you want me to. But for now, I'll just once again say that this deal that is 60% off, $197 for a lifetime license instead of $497, can only be done through his different affiliates. So that's me, and there are several other people that are promoting QuickWrite that believe in it and what he's doing here. And so this is just an affiliate promotion that he's doing. So don't go to QuickWrite.ai unless you want to pay $500 for no reason, but because it's the exact same thing for this link here. Anyhow, so that is QuickWrite. I hope that you'll check it out. Again, you get a free license to Bible Toolbox that will come after the promo's over. It's just going to take everybody that bought a link in these 3 weeks. The other thing I noticed is, I don't know, I don't have any insight into how many people have taken advantage of it, but I know that it's through the 19th or until 500 people have taken advantage of it. Once 500 people. So if you go to my link, keithfarron.com/QW60, and you see a $497 price, it means that 500 people have already taken advantage of it. And so he's offering it through that date or the first 500 people, whichever comes first. So I just checked before I went live, and it is still available now, unless it's not been available in the next, in the last 45 minutes or something like that. So, yeah. Looking forward to Bible Toolbox too. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, if you have any questions, you can email me. The other thing that I want to say is when it comes to, if you have any challenges with it or the refund thing, or you've got questions about functionality or something, a link in there is broken or something like that, then either email support@adazing.com, or if you're inside the document manager. So if you are inside, where am I at here? If you're inside, you'll see the same place under account where you do a feature request. That feature request is also your support. So while I encourage people to use it because I love it, I use it all the time, and I just have been so happy with it. I do not work for Adazing. I do not work for CJ, and I can't help you with any kind of support things or whatever. So please don't email me about a refund or could you add this or whatever, because I don't do any of the account support stuff. So that's where you find it, inside the account piece. So, all right. I'm going to see if there are any other questions while I'm in here. Yep. My pleasure. Thanks, Jess. All right, everyone. Well, I will see you soon, and go ahead and check it out. Looking forward to hearing what you think. Bye, everyone.